So, that's the conclusion of our workshop for today, but it's only the beginning of the next 6 to 8 weeks that we're going to spend together implementing these concepts and competencies and principles in your everyday activities, specifically around your customer interactions. So what I'd like to do is review the implementation plan over the next 6 to 8 weeks. And we're going to talk about our role, your manager's role, your role, expectations, homework, and any questions you might have about how this gets implemented. So in this implementation plan, I'm going to cover a few things. One is the coaching model that we're going to apply over the next 6 to 8 weeks. 2, roles and expectations, the implementation plan, how it's going to be done, your homework assignment, and what you need to do to prepare. And then we need to schedule follow-on coaching sessions that are going to be consistent from week in and week out for the next 4 to 6 weeks. Let's begin with our coaching model. We call this our skill development coaching model. What we've been talking about today is a skill set. Planning, questioning, listening. Skills are something that need to be applied, practiced, through repetition, and through real application in a real customer environment to where they become part of the way you do business. A skill isn't something you learn in a classroom. You get introduced to the concepts, you may practice it a little bit, but real skill development happens over time. So we've designed our coaching model to fit well with how skills are really learned and applied. And so in our coaching model, what's going to happen is starting week 1, which might be somewhere in the next 7 to 10 days, there's going to be some things going on. We're going to come back together. You're going to have the assignments to prepare for these sessions. We're going to have a team coaching session, at which time we as the coach will facilitate about 80% of the coaching, and your manager will facilitate about 20% of the coaching. We will focus on the process side, and your manager will contribute the content from a tech data perspective. The combination of the two will make it relevant to your business environment and to your particular needs. We're then going to move that process to week 2 and continue that same process. The only thing that changes in week 2 is we take a less of a role, we go down to about 60 or 50%, your manager picks up more of the role. And by week 2, each of you as individuals who identify some best practices and you have something of value to share to the team, you begin to contribute to this coaching process. And in effect, those of you who are a little more mature and a little more seasoned and had a little more success have the opportunity to begin to contribute and be part of the coaching process. By the time we move into week 3, this process continues. Your manager has more of the responsibility, we have less, and you as a participant have more. And we'll repeat the process into week 4, each week refining and improving the process, learning from what happened the week before, applying it to the next week, and continuing to evolve the process. Once you've developed this process and you've gotten comfortable with it as a team and as a manager, you can now add any new skill to this process, interject a new skill 4 or 5 weeks from now, and continue the coaching process until you master that skill. So obviously what will happen after this workshop is the negotiations workshop. And so you will then replicate the same process that we did, but you will apply it to the skill of negotiating. Then if you all decide to add another skill, presentations for instance, you would do exactly the same thing. So when it's all said and done, you as an organization will have a coaching model, a team environment of sharing best practices that you can all execute and implement around any skill development that you choose to interject into the process. Roles and responsibilities in preparation. Our role is to lead the sessions, about 50 minutes with the manager, with the team, and about 10 minutes individually with the manager to kind of help refine the process. The manager's role is to lead the sessions from the tech data perspective and to do weekly one-on-one sessions with each of you to kind of help you prepare in advance of the team coaching sessions so you can have maximum contribution to the team environment. And then 3, your role as a sales professional is to prepare your planners and to present your planners and your recorded calls, your real customer calls, to the team coaching sessions so we can review and learn from each other. The implementation plan looks like this over the next 6 or 8 weeks or so. Today we're about to conclude the foundational program. Week 1, you're going to have video modules of this program available to you online that you can go back and review. So if you want to go review some of the concepts about pre-call planning or anything, you can go back and review those video modules to help you reinforce or refresh some of the concepts. You will also be asked to create your own ice break and your own voicemail message, similar to what we began in the classroom today. You will be asked to make about 20 outbound calls or whatever you and your management team agree is appropriate for your particular business environment. So you will proactively schedule and make a certain number of outbound calls each week. You will record one voicemail that you left with a customer and one completed call that you had with a customer. So you will record both sides of the conversation through the tapes and things that will be recorders that will be made available to you. With your objective being to attend the team coaching session prepared with your planners that you created, with your ice break, with the voicemail message you left for a customer, and the recorded call that you completed. Any questions about the assignment?
They're going to have tape recorders to record.
Yep, all that'll be available to them.
Okay.
Yep. So that's kind of the expectation from here till next week, the things that you're going to be responsible for completing. Then what's going to happen is this is going to get repeated each week, this whole process, but each week it's going to get refined. And each week the skill set's going to get stronger, it's going to get to a higher level, and the best practices will start to get shared throughout the whole organization, and you'll see the entire organization increasing in the kinds of questions they ask, the preparation, the sharing of best practices, and the number of outbound calls are being made, the completed calls, and then the opportunities that are emerging from these calls and the questions that come out of that. As all that gets completed, you will then roll naturally into the negotiations program. You'll all come back together again for another half a day, and you'll roll through this program again. So, in summary, here's kind of your homework assignment, a little bit what we just discussed. And that's my story, and I'm sticking to it.